Hello there, welcome to Personality Profile. I am MFA Akosia Adeti, and today we explore the life of Genevieve Partington, a woman who is a human rights advocate and even been advocating a greater part of her career for women equality. She is also the country director for Amnesty International. Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited to go on this journey with Genevieve, who is very passionate about women and also in organizational development. She's the co-founder of Ladies in Development Africa. We'll get to understand what all of that is about. Stay with me and welcome aboard to Personality Profile. Welcome back to Personality Profile. I'm excited because I always will see her in the news, very vocal about women issues. Today I get to sit up close and just maybe I'll be learning a thing or two, and I wish that you'd also learn a thing or two, especially if you're a woman watching this, and even so the men. Yeah, Genevieve, what is the right pronunciation of your name? It's Genevieve or Genevieve?
Hey. It's Genevieve,
okay,
but it is French. It's Geneviève. As French, but we will take the
we should accept the Genevieve. Okay.
Genevieve.
Thank you so much for sitting with us.
Thank you.
I have a personal curious question. It will be about your hair.
Okay.
It's almost as though every child or every girl would have a story about their hair. It's either their hair was too hard, they couldn't comb, and so they chose a particular way to keep their hair. What's the story behind your hair?
I think it's just about convenience. For my hair, it's been a journey. I've had it natural before. I've permed it. I enjoyed wearing wigs at a point. I enjoyed doing braids. And I think as I progressed in my career and then I have a son, I just felt, okay, I don't have time to go to the salon as much as I want to. And honestly, having a pixie haircut, for example, just going to the salon and spending hours there is just something I wasn't personally enjoying. Being under the heat, perming my hair, it just wasn't helping my scalp and even my face or my like skincare routine. I felt perming cream and all that was affecting how my skin looked and stuff. And I was right. The moment I stopped perming my hair and I went natural, my skin got better. So it was a decision I made, and I wanted dreads. I know when I went to the hairstylist, she was insisting I do sister locks, and I didn't want sister locks. I was like, I want thicker dreads. I even wanted it bigger than this, and she was like, oh, it's not feminine. I was like, I really don't care. And then I wanted something edgy and low maintenance, and I felt shaving the sides would definitely be low maintenance because I just have to shave it. I can shave it myself.
Oh, you do?
I don't, but I used to, because this decision came during COVID. So during COVID, I had to cut my hair myself or have my brother-in-law cut it. He wasn't the best, by the way. I think I gave myself a better haircut. My sister's husband, I won't mention your name, but yeah, he wasn't great.
Please don't try it on anybody else.
So anyway, I was cutting my own hair during COVID, and I decided, I'm just going to keep the sides short and dread the top.
I like it.
And then it's ended up like this.
I think you wear it very beautifully,
though.
Oh,
thank you. And I do like dyeing my hair. So this is something that I enjoy.
Were you born in Ghana?
Yes, I was born in Ghana.
Did you get this question often?
Yes, I get this question often, and I think people think I wasn't born in Ghana. But I do have a very mixed childhood because I didn't just school in Ghana. I schooled in France, I schooled in the UK, and I schooled in Holland. So I do have a mixed kind of exposure and experience as a Ghanaian child, as a Ghanaian woman. And I think that's why my views may sometimes seem external or seem not very much with our culture, so we think. But I'd have a very mixed upbringing that I'm very happy and proud about.
Yes. But in Ghana, where do you come from in Ghana?
So I'm Ga. Don't ask me to speak Ga. I suck. But I understand it very well if I have to speak. I do not speak Tree. I think people have this perception that if you're Ghanaian, you have to speak Tree. Yeah. You don't. It's not the national language. My whole family is Ga. So who is speaking Tree with me? Do you understand? So if anything at all, yes, I speak some Ga, I understand it, but you know, my pronunciations can be funny, but I try.
Okay.
But I speak French because part of my family is also francophone.
Okay.
Yes, so part of my family is from Ivory Coast, so because of that, you know, we were pushed to learn the French language as well. So all my sisters, everyone in my family speaks French.
Oh, talking about your sisters, your family of how many?
So we are a total of 6 sisters. I have 2 half sisters and then 4 sisters from my mom's side. We are 4 from my mom and 2 from another lady. But in total, we are 6 from my dad. And yeah, the 4 of us grew up together. And yeah, it's been, I mean, it's an interesting experience living in a house with all girls. My dad definitely had, you know, his cup filled. Because he's a retired army officer, so he's trying to bring discipline, and when it's not happening, you know, like, I mean, you have 4 girls in the house. We are going to ask questions.
Yeah,
we're not going to take everything hook, line, and sinker. But I am happy we have that kind of upbringing because my dad always allowed us to ask questions, to challenge whatever he said, and he was okay with it. Like sometimes you just look at it like, where are you getting this behavior from? You know, but I think in a way, I'm not exactly proud to say this, but he kind of raised us up like boys. Let me put it that way. Although, or should I say sort of gender, I can't say we were raised gender neutral, but because he didn't have boys, he raised us up as boys and as girls. So we have that mixture of being very confident. All my sisters are very confident. All my sisters are outspoken. We don't like being walked over. I can attest to that. But we all know how to cook as well. I think it's just a balance of life skills. Like everyone needs to know how to cook, whether you're a man or a woman. You should know how to cook. It's a basic life skill. So when I speak about not having a certain gendered upbringing, yes, but also how to be safe as a young woman. My dad definitely taught us how to be safe as young women, which is very important in this society where there's a lot of oppression for women.
Yes. Perfect way to land. But in Ghana, did you have at least some basic education in Ghana?
Yes,
and
yes.
Was it
so
like for you?
I actually started, so I started nursery here and I left. I was in Merton International. They call it Merton International now. I think it was just Merton School at the time. And then I went to Northridge Lyceum. It's also a private school, amazing school. I really enjoyed being there. But yeah, before I went to Northridge, I went to the UK. So I schooled in the UK for some years, and then I came back to Ghana. And then I joined Northridge Lyceum. After that, I went to Akosombo International School for my senior high school.
Okay.
Most of my family went to Achimota, Motown. So I think it was expected that I would go to Motown, but my dad didn't want me to go there.
Why?
Because all my friends were going there, and he felt, oh, you won't learn. So, you know, I wrote the Akosombo exam and I got in. And I loved my experience at Akosombo International. I had amazing years at my senior.
Did your siblings also go to?
No, we went to different schools. So my younger sister went to Achimota. My older sister went to Holy Child. And then the middle child, that's my sister Gita and myself, we went to Akosombo. So yeah, because of that, you can see like the different personality traits, how we all developed differently, although we were under one household. But yeah, I mean, I had an amazing experience in high school. So
did you have a picture of what you would be in future at the time that you were in school, be it your primary or your secondary level? Okay,
so I think when growing up, I was always the type that would organize the kids, or I always wanted, like I was always playing leader. Like I would organize the kids at a party. Like if there's a party, I'm like, hey, everyone sit here. And then I'll bring your food. So sit here quietly, you know, that kind of thing. I was always, so they used to call me headmistress when I was young.
Do you think you still have that attribute?
Oh, I don't know.
Should we tell you?
I don't know. But yeah, I always knew I would definitely, I'm not a follower. I'm somebody, and there are followers, and that's great. Like, you need followers, you need leaders. I was not born to be a follower, I was born to lead. So it's just always been something that, in fact, all my sisters, my dad just instilled that leadership thing, because being an army officer, he was always leading. So for us, we were raised to lead, not to be followers. And it followed through from all my years in school, because I was always a prefect. I was a prefect everywhere I found myself in school. I was always, even if it's a committee, like I went to University of Ghana, I was part of the beach committee. I was always there to organize, always, to bring people together, to mobilize. That's just something I do. And funny enough, my name kind of stands for that, the Geneviève. Geneviève is, it is the patron saint of Paris. That is the name of the patron saint of Paris. And she was known as the protector of Paris. So, kind of, that's what I always say. And there's everything in a name. When you're naming your child, you really, really have to think about it and how you name your child. And I feel like my name speaks for itself. I'm somebody who I want to protect people. I want to fight for people. I want to fight for people's rights. I was the type that if someone is being bullied in school, I'm like, no, what are you doing? Like, I would stand up for someone. It's typical of me to do. So I feel my name kind of reflects my personality.
It's not surprising the role you're playing now. How long have you been the country director for Amnesty
So I'm going on to my third year. I joined Amnesty in 2023.
Okay.
Before Amnesty, I was working with Oxfam.
Okay.
I loved Oxfam. I had an amazing time there. I've just been lucky. I worked a lot there on gender-based violence. It was very difficult to hear some of the stories of gender-based violence at the time.
What's one of the stories that's still living with you?
I really don't want to go into that. I really don't want to go into that. But there were some really horror stories, and you'd be amazed that these are some of the things that are happening in Ghana. So I had a great time at Oxfam. But even before Oxfam, I was working with the French embassy.
Okay.
I was there for quite some time. And I was too comfortable there. I was very comfortable. I had an amazing boss. I didn't feel like leaving. And I think just one day, I started feeling uncomfortable. And I always tell people that when you're feeling like, I'm not exactly religious either, but when you're feeling uncomfortable, maybe God or the universe is trying to tell you something, you need to get up and leave. So, at a certain point, I was just feeling uncomfortable there. At the time, of course, you wouldn't be happy about it. You wouldn't understand it. But when I look back at it, I'm so happy I was uncomfortable, because if I wasn't, I would have never left.
Maybe.
I would have never left that job. So just feeling uncomfortable pushed me to look for other opportunities and to look for something higher. I think that's another thing women don't do. We don't look for something higher. We look for something similar, because we don't want to move away from the norm. And that's something I always try and mentor young women about, that always women are known to underestimate themselves whenever it comes to jobs, opportunities, public speaking. We always underestimate ourselves, but you'll be shocked that you actually do way more than you think you do.
This is sticking with me. Women like to look for something similar and not something. Let's talk about you being a country director for Amnesty. And you have just been telling us about yourself and how you like to lead, how you like to fight for people. What about Amnesty International have you been enjoying so far? And you look at it as, I'm not surprised that I'm doing this job.
Well, I'm definitely not surprised I'm doing this job, because I've always been a gender activist, women's rights, human rights. I've always been all for it. But the job is definitely tiring. Like, it's stressful, especially if you're working in an environment where some of the issues you believe in are controversial, I'll give an example, the death penalty. In Ghana, we have a colonial history. it wasn't us that brought the death penalty. It was actually the British, the colonialists, that brought the death penalty into our constitution, and how we've embedded it into our constitution now. And it's just something we're used to in our history books. Now that there's a constitutional review happening, Amnesty has sent a memo to the Constitutional Review Committee, and we are proposing that death penalty should be removed from the Constitution and replaced with life imprisonment. Why? Because currently a lot of persons who are on death row either did not have access to a fair trial, or a lot of them are not at a level of education. Like, most of the people on death row are not persons that are highly educated.
I would have thought we've made some progress with that
In
death penalty.
Well, we have and we have not. So it's partially abolished, but Amnesty International does not recognize it as an abolishment, because you can still be sentenced to death for treason in Ghana. That is still in our constitution. So far as that is in our constitution, it means the death penalty has not been fully abolished in Ghana. Currently, last year, 6 persons were sentenced to death by hanging for treason. Yes, so it means it still exists. People are being sentenced. Just that for murder, you are no longer being sentenced to death, but you have life imprisonment.
What has been the most difficult part of this job for you? Despite you enjoying it, you've mentioned that it's tiring.
Yeah, it can be tiring. Like I said, I have family that rely on me, and sometimes just the whole work-life balance sometimes can be daunting. And I think that is not just for me, it can be for anyone. Also, being a woman in a leadership position, I think that is also something that when people hear director of Amnesty International or any organization, I think they are looking for someone who is very prim and prop. Today, you're lucky I'm not wearing sneakers. Usually I'd wear sneakers, jeans, a top like this, and then you saw when you came in, my hair was up like this. So I'm just a very casual, chill person, and I just wish people would see beyond women having to dress a certain way, to look a certain way, like having, a certain look, and then wearing heels. It's just not my thing. I learned it the hard way. I'll tell you one thing. I was going to Parliament and I heard they don't allow sneakers.
Yes.
So that day I didn't have any extra shoes in my car. I had to go to Parliament and I was wearing sneakers, and I knew I would be bounced. So it's a rule there. It's fine. They didn't say wear heels as a woman. No, they didn't say that. So I had to pass by a friend's house and get shoes to wear, because Parliament does not accept sneakers. That's okay. That's their rules. We'll do what.
How did you survive in the wearing of it? Because from where you park.
My friend she only had heels for me. I went to her office and she said she only has heels for me. So I took her shoes. She took my sneakers, and I suffered. I really did. I had to walk from there, and it wasn't great. But again, so I had to invest highly in flat shoes, those ballerina shoes and things. And those shoes too, when there's gravel,
it hurts.
It hurts.
Everything just hurts over.
Yeah. So anyway, these are some of the things I feel like we put women to a certain standard, and I don't want to be the standard. I want to disrupt the standard. That's why I have my hair like this. That's why I've shaved the sides, because you're not expecting it. That's why if I show up at meetings, last time I went for a meeting and they had reserved the front for VIPs. And when I got there, they were like, no, this side is reserved. And when my PA was trying to tell the person saying that oh, she's the country, that he was like, no, this is reserved for VIP, And I told her that she shouldn't worry, these things, they don't bother me. So I went to sit at the back, and it was time for me to make a speech. So they were like, oh, and the country director of Amnesty. So I walked from the back, and the person that's told me not to sit there was looking at me, like, oh, madam, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, it's not necessary. You judged me. You saw me, you judged me. And that is the most difficult, challenging thing I face with our society right now. It's perception for us. We want to look at people at face value. So if someone comes in looking important, wearing a suit, high heels, looking all, you know, we tend to pay attention more to that person. And driving a V8, you know, if you're driving a V8, you are more likely to get VIP parking than if you are in an Uber or driving a small car.
This is true.
Yes.
Very true.
Yes. So because of that, I feel like, you know, it's society and our perceptions of wealth and our perceptions of who is VIP. And a lot of the time, I don't fit into that perception or that box. So many times I do get mistaken for maybe I'm a project assistant or I'm somebody. It's fine. I mean, I don't mind really, but people always get shocked when they call, oh, the country director is coming to make a speech or something, and then I come and then they're like, I was expecting some big woman or yeah. So I think that's the most difficult thing I have to deal with, perception of society.
In this fight that you have been on, having women to help them disrupt the order, because I think, and I'm just learning, it looks like if you do not disrupt the order, you really cannot even progress, especially because of that perception that people have of women. For we women themselves, each time you're engaged in men, whether we're young or we're of a certain age, are we getting it? The message that's you personally even trying to champion, and even for the organizations that you've worked with, are women getting it? Do we get the message?
I think a number of women do get it. And you don't, I mean, everybody in their style. I have decided to not follow society's perceptions. I want to be different, and I want to be myself. Let's put it that way. I want to be myself and not be judged for being myself. I want to wear my sneakers and not be judged for wearing sneakers and saying she looks casual, because you can wear really nice sneakers and look good. Huh?
What's your favorite sneaker color?
Oh,
I
don't like white. I like bright colors.
Okay.
I like my Jordans. I really have some.
I love
nice,
black Jordans
like
too.
Jordans, yeah.
I love black or maybe gray color or something.
Yeah.
The white I can't wash, and especially
that's
the weather will not.
These are roads with the dust and things where by the time you walk outside, your sneakers are brown. So I always go for like colors that are easier to clean and always look like clean and match what I'm wearing, basically.
For the things that you do you have people who have done it before that you look up to, or it's really quite a novel area so much that you have to be the one creating the standards for people to want to follow?
I think there are so many amazing women in leadership that have been in leadership that we can look up to. I look up to, you know, women who have been past prime ministers. During COVID time, this lady Arden, when she was prime minister at the time, I look up to people like that. Even the lady that was prime minister for a very short period in the UK, I look up to them because it's not easy being a prime minister or president, being a woman, and then deciding that, okay, I'm resigning, I don't want this job anymore, and people respect you for that. So. Yeah, Jacinta Ardern. She's someone I look up to. There are people in the space that have done amazing things, and I look up to them, but I also don't want them to be the pinnacle. I want to look even above, beyond that. There are so many women I look up to. I look up to my mom. I think I get half of my craziness from her. And I look up to other women in the society that I feel have disrupted what feminine should be or look like. Like I told you, people see femininity as like, I don't know, dresses, you know, that kind of thing, makeup, like, and sometimes you just don't want to wear a dress. I'm not saying that's what I do. I wear a dress, you know, I look good, but I just feel like people should be accepted for who they are and how they want to express themselves. It's as simple as that.
You're watching Personality Profile. When we go for this break and we come back, here are a few things I'd like to find out from Genevieve. That by the time she's exiting as country director, what would she want to be remembered for? That's one. And then two, I mean, we've been quite excited about the first female vice president in this country. What does it mean for her? what does the future really also look like for us as women. We would also get to understand why she thought to co-found Ladies in Development Africa as well, and what that really is about. So stay with us, we'll be back shortly. Welcome back. This is Personality Profile. So just before the break, if you missed out, I don't know where you have been and what you've been up to, but we've been talking to Genevieve Partington, and today we get to understand a few things about her, so that you're not just hearing and seeing things about her in the news, but you get up close and get to also understand why she does some of the things and some of the things she doesn't do. Now, you may have read about her or heard about her being the co-founder of Ladies in Development Africa. Let's start with that one. Genevieve, what's that about?
So, I think when I was at Oxfam, I really had a reflective period, and I thought that a lot of women working in the development sector sort of have a cap. What happens is that we go for senior management positions, but we don't really go for the main positions like director roles and things. But maybe you might find us in senior management. So I felt, okay, what's the gap? Is it capacity building that we need? Is it to push women? For me, becoming director here, it really was just about two people telling me that, oh, I think you should apply. Like, people sent me the link to apply. They saw it posted on LinkedIn and they said, hey, I saw this position and I thought of you. And I was like, oh, you thought of me? I was not planning on being a director or anything. Like, no, you can do it. Trust me. You can do this thing. This job is for you. And a number of people sent me this link, just encouraging me to apply. So basically, Ladies in Development Africa is just a network of women working in the development sector and sharing opportunities with each other, but also learning from each other. Oh. I feel that space wasn't there for women working in the development sector. When I say development sector, I'm looking at NGOs, donor partners, working with international organizations, basically. And so I started it. The Swiss ambassador, Her Excellency Simone Giger, she was the one that really pushed me to launch it, because if it wasn't for her, honestly, it was like something in a book. Okay. And she was like, no, let's launch it. This is an amazing idea. She really, really pushed us to launch this thing. And I had the co-founder, Thelma, who still works at Oxfam. We came together and we were like, no, we need to make this work. As much as we are so busy, can we at least set up a platform so that ladies can actually connect, we can share job opportunities, because there are job opportunities, just that, again, we underestimate ourselves. But also look for capacity building opportunities where we can just build ourselves up and be ready for opportunities like director roles and, UN Secretary General, who knows, So I think that was basically the concept behind
How's
Leader.
That going so far?
It's going well. I mean, it's a whole other project. It's a lot of work, but it's something that I'm really passionate and dedicated to. There are a number of women I also mentor who want to come into the development sector. So just educating them on what that looks like and what courses you need to do to get into this sector. Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. Some of the women there. So what we do is that now we have a pool of, I don't know, it's like a little recruitment, because we're about 150 professionals right now. And if there's a job opportunity or if there's a consultancy, you have this large pool of women professionals to select from. So most of the time we put opportunities there and we're like, hey, we're prioritizing women for this opportunity. Is there anyone that can do this? Is there anyone that has facilitation skills? Is there anyone that has communication, is a communication expert? So I love the fact that, you know, we have this network of women and you can tap from the network when you need experts in a specific subject area. And the subject areas vary from mining to extractives to STEM to communication, like to agriculture. Like there are just so many women with so much expertise there that can be ministers one day and etc.
Is there a website or anything that we can...
We were building a website. It is under construction.
Okay.
But we're on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Ladies in Development Africa.
Okay.
So it's on LinkedIn. You can join. We have had to put a hold on membership because it looks like everyone wants to join. But it's for a specific group of women. It's for women who are into the development sector. So if you plan on joining the development sector or you're in it, then sure, come join us. We'll send you a membership form and all that. But we're on LinkedIn.
I'm excited to talk to you about women. Just before the 2024 election would be the Affirmative Action Act.
Yes.
Which I recall after that act, I mean, you spoke to us even on radio and women representation. You have been very vocal about women representation.
Absolutely.
That act we have is sitting. It's a place of reference for us.
Yeah.
Then luckily, after 2024 elections, we've had the very first vice president in this country.
Yeah.
We'll put all this together. What does this mean? Where are we headed?
I mean, it's amazing. I'm happy to be witnessing the first vice president of Ghana being a woman. She's an amazing woman herself. I knew her when she was vice chancellor at University of Cape Coast, and she was so warm, so welcoming, and she's the perfect person for the job. She's overqualified, and it just brings hope to other women that we can aspire to be vice president, but also president one day. Because I believe that, well, hopefully, most of the time, those that stand for vice president would go for president one day. So I'm hoping that she goes for president as well one day, just to set a sort of pinnacle for other women to reach. And not to say, because we've had flag bearers who are women.
Of course, yes.
Madame Bridget was...
We've had CPP as well.
Yes.
Samira,
yes.
She's done very well as well in our grade.
Yes.
All of that, yeah.
So we've had flag bearership that have women representation, but we want more. Yes, they've done the government currently has done a great job assigning roles to women. But you see, when we look at certain sectors like regional ministers, not many women are there. I think we have about 3 or something around that. I haven't checked the numbers
recently, but it's quite low as well.
It's very low. Yeah. Cabinet ministers, not enough women. So we have to look at those
cabinet
specifics.
Should be about just 10% of the total representation.
That's low for me.
That's very low.
Yes. So I think some of these things we have to re-look at. I mean, it's the beginning of 2025. Hopefully those things can change given time. Also, the Affirmative Action Act is progressive. Okay. So it's, you know, up to 30% now, and then 50% by, it was supposed to be by 2030, but because of the time the act was passed, I'm hearing that it has to have a full 10-year range. So some experts are saying it's by 2034 that we should achieve 50% women representation across board. So we're hoping for the best. Minister of Gender, Dr. Agnes Namumu Latte, she was at our International Women's Day event just the other week, and she promised us that the Gender Equity Committee will be set up, the committee that will be looking at implementing the act. So I believe she's very dedicated as well. And for us, I mean, at Amnesty, whoever comes into power, we are working with. We just hope as they've come, they'll be very willing to push for like human rights, and not just about Ghanaian culture, but really push for better human rights.
For this year, Amnesty International, what's the plan generally? Maybe for
so
women
many things. I mean, we're looking at the Affirmative Action Act. We'll be supporting the ministry any way we can with that. We are very much into women's rights. I heard a very funny comment the other day that, oh, you do human rights, why are you bothered about women's rights? Women's rights is human rights. Hello. So it's human rights.
Okay.
So we work a lot on women's rights issues. We work on gender-based violence. We look at sexual consent. So we work a lot with students, tertiary schools, because consent has become a huge, something I'm also very passionate about. It's become a huge issue on our campuses, where sometimes people get drunk, both young women and young men, right? They get drunk and people make sexual advances on them without their permission. It is not cool to be making sexual advances on anyone when they are drunk. Please stop it. So, these are some of the things we are looking at. We are also looking at protests.
Okay.
We're very, very passionate about protests here. We want to look at, are we being safe during protests? Are security forces doing the right thing during protests? We engage a lot with governments, with the police. We want to ensure that citizens are protected, but also police and security forces in general are doing the right thing during protests. So that is a very huge campaign we have. But also is witchcraft accusations. We actually have a report coming out in a few weeks about some of the women we interviewed. We interviewed a bunch of women who have been accused of witchcraft, and they have been put in the camps, the alleged witch camps. And, I can't describe. I went to 3 camps. I can't tell you how, heartbroken I was to see what was going on and how some of these women are living. I had to even excuse myself. I was supposed to be doing interviews, and I went to lie under a tree because somebody was telling me her story about how she had been beaten and chased from her village. Her house was burned down.
And how how very deep it is, very rooted in our culture.
It's sad, So, her story broke my heart, and I didn't want to cry in front of her. I didn't want to break down. So I excused myself and went to lie under a tree with some goats. And it's something that's why I said it's not always about culture. Sometimes culture can get it wrong. Yes, we can believe in witchcraft. I know that Togo, Benin is like the land of voodoo. Yes, we can believe in spirituality. Yes, maybe those things exist, but there is a boundary to that. The moment you start accusing someone of being a witch, the moment you brand someone, you are branding them for life, and you are telling them that, they are not human, and they don't deserve to be treated as a human. They don't deserve some form and level of dignity.
My eyes are quite watery, especially for, you remember Ikea dentist story?
Yes,
that
yes.
90-year-old one was stoned.
And that is the issue we have at Amnesty. People are human beings first. Forget about everything else. You are a human being first. Someone has committed a crime, okay, but he's a human being first. Somebody, you say somebody should go on death row. We as society, we don't believe in an eye for an eye. So why are we putting murderers on death row? If we say our prison is a place of reform, I'm glad that President Mahama said that the other day. It is a place of rehabilitation and reform. Then why are we punishing people to go on death row, being in condemned cells, zero access to education, by the way, zero access to improve themselves and actually have a change, but they are just in a cell, not really engaging with anybody else but the other persons on death row? How do they contribute to society? And mind you, a lot of these persons on death row are first-time offenders. This is not, we're not talking about serial killers. They are not, it's not the way it is in the States that you find somebody and Jeffrey Dahmer and those people. It's not that, it's actually people who are not very educated, who out of, I don't know, under duress, they did something very bad. Let's admit that it was bad. They do deserve some level of punishment. Totally agree. But to put someone on death row, hey, it's
and plus it's not even happening.
It's
It's
inhumane to put somebody on death row.
By the time you're exiting this role as country director, I want to go back to typing Genevieve Partington, and I want to, what do you want to be remembered for?
Hey, I think not just leaving this role, I think as a person, I want to be remembered that I made a difference in society. I want people to remember me for, oh, Genevieve made a difference, and a positive difference, a positive change. She made an impact. I don't want to be remembered for the role, like, oh, I was a director.
Right.
No.
Right.
What impact did I have on society? Whose life did I change? Even if it was one or two persons' lives I changed, I think I'll be very happy with that. And I think it's the most satisfying thing about life, like just knowing that you made a difference in somebody's life, regardless.
I hope that you're not always working. So if you're not working, at least. If you're not working, at least, what would you be doing?
I like food.
Ooh.
So I love to go for dinner. I don't enjoy cooking. Let me just be honest here. I do not enjoy cooking. But I do enjoy eating my sister's food. Yeah, my sister's.
What would be your favorite food?
Oh, I eat. So I don't eat a lot of red meat. I don't eat red meat.
Okay.
But I do a lot of chicken and fish. And I like a lot
What's your favorite
of food.
fish? I love salmon.
Yeah, I also like salmon. I like salmon. I like grouper. I like cassava fish. I like a lot of different things. I like fufu and soup.
Okay.
I'm not a rice person. I always say this and people laugh because they see me, I think they think I'm a Bruni or a foreigner, I don't know. But I don't like rice. I like to swallow. I like banku. I like tozafi.
What would you have your banku with?
Some grilled tilapia.
Okay.
Or the okro without oil. I like okro ademe. Very yummy with some fish. And
I'll invite you for a plate of akple and ademe.
Oh, I love it.
I like to think I can make that very, very
well.
well.
You can make it?
Yes,
I'm sorted. I would really enjoy that.
I see that you love bright colors.
Yeah. I do.
You do? And do you play any sports at all?
I used to play volleyball in school. I don't. So I do beach volleyball when I can, but that's very rare. But I love to go to the beach. I think the beach is like, it's the most amazing gift God has given humanity. Just being by the beach, you can hear the waves, the sand at your feet. I think it's so refreshing, it's so calming. I love the beach. I love swimming. I love to take a swim at the beach or in a swimming pool. So far as I'm by water, I'm very calm. So I think most of my downtime, if I'm not with my son, I love to spend my time at the beach or swimming. I think those are, and then, reading a book.
Okay.
I can read a nice book at the beach.
Do you attempt music at all?
I love music.
You love music?
I love music. I'm such a 90s babe.
Okay.
I love 90s music. And
all-time favorite musician, if you have one?
Oh, I don't think I have one. I'm an all-rounder. I love my hip-hop, 90s hip-hop.
Okay.
Amazing 90s hip-hop. I love, Aaliyah. I like the legend, John Legend.
Okay.
Alicia Keys. I love my R&B.
Okay.
I'm really into R&B, hip hop. Kendrick Lamar now is really making waves. Yeah, I was listening to that in my car this morning actually. So
starting your week with that. Okay.
Yeah, so I love music, and actually that really, when they say millennials love to dance in their car, yeah, it's true.
It's you, huh?
It's true. We do that. We do that. And I enjoy music. It's one of the things I really enjoy.
I know that you have such a tight schedule, but really, thank you so much for making time to speak
I really
with us.
enjoyed this.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
really
Thank you
grateful.
so much. And a lot of us are watching you.
Oh.
Learning. Yes. And not just me, but I'm sure there are many women out there, both young, old, and even the men as well, because then when they watch and listen to you, it makes them want to realign.
Yeah.
That okay, now this is the way the women are going, so we better tighten up. You know.
Better stand up.
Yeah.
Better sit up and stand up.
So
Here
really,
we come.
So really, thank you so much for talking to us on personality profile, and we'll come again and we'll come again and come again, especially when you're doing something we want to tell the world about. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, there you have it. We've been talking to Genevieve Partington, and I've forgotten how she taught us how to say the name in French. Maybe
Geneviève.
Geneviève. Geneviève. Thank you so much for watching. I'll come again another time. Stay well.